The crack of the beer bottle shattering against the picnic table sent a jolt through my spine, but it was Jake's laughter, sharp, mocking, laced with that familiar venom, that ignited the fury I'd buried for years. "Look at you, Alex," he sneered. His face flushed from too many drinks, eyes gleaming with the kind of triumph only a bully feels when he's got an audience. "Still playing the quiet vet routine. What, you flip burgers now? Or is it Uber driving for the hero who couldn't hack it?" The family barbecue erupted in awkward chuckles, forks pausing mid-air, but no one intervened. Not Aunt Karen, not my sister, not even Uncle Mike, Jake's dad, who sat at the head of the table like a stone statue, his seal-honed gaze flicking between us. The humid summer air thickened with unspoken tension, the scent of charred ribs and sunscreen mingling with the bile rising in my throat. Humiliation burned hotter than the grill coals, but beneath it, something colder stirred, a resolve I'd nurtured in silence, waiting for the perfect spark. I clenched my fists under the table, nails digging into palms until I felt the warm trickle of blood. Not yet, I told myself, forcing a thin smile that felt like glass cracking. Jake had always been like this, the golden boy who coasted on charm and connections, while I scraped through life with grit and ghosts. But this wasn't just playground taunts. This was the culmination of a betrayal that had festered for a decade. It started back in high school, when we were inseparable. Cousins raised like brothers after my parents' car crash left me orphaned at 12. Uncle Mike took me in, treated me like his own, even as Jake simmered with jealousy over the attention. "You're the spare," he'd whisper in the dark of our shared room, his breath hot against my ear. "Dad's just pitying you." The real knife twisted senior year. I'd confided in Jake about my dream, enlisting in the Navy, aiming for SEALs like Uncle Mike, whose stories of covert ops in shadowed jungles had fueled my fire. I trained relentlessly, runs at dawn, pull-ups until my shoulders screamed, while Jake partied and coasted. Then came the betrayal. I'd applied for a scholarship through a veterans program, pouring my soul into the essay about overcoming loss. Jake, ever the opportunist, stole it, copied it word for word, submitted it under his name and won. When I confronted him, he laughed it off. "It's just words, Alex. You'll get over it." But I didn't. The rejection crushed me, forcing me to enlist without aid, scraping through boot camp on ramen and rage. Jake. He blew the money on a gap year in Europe, then dropped out of college, landing a cushy job through Uncle Mike's connections. The family never knew. I swallowed the truth, letting it poison me from within. Now, at 32, the scars ran deeper. I'd made it, SEAL Team call sign Reaper, for my uncanny ability to slip in and out of hellholes unseen, reaping intel that saved lives. But the toll was brutal. A shattered knee from a botched extraction in Syria, PTSD that turned nights into battlegrounds, and a discharge that left me adrift. Jake, meanwhile, had married well, climbed the corporate ladder, and paraded his success like a trophy. At family gatherings, he'd needle me subtly. "How's civilian life treating you?" But today, with the barbecue in full swing at Uncle Mike's sprawling backyard in Virginia, he'd gone nuclear. Maybe it was the whiskey or the promotion he'd just bragged about, but his mockery hit like artillery. I stared at my plate, the potato salad blurring as resentment boiled over into obsession. "He thinks he's untouchable," my mind raced, replaying every slight. The time he accidentally leaked my therapy sessions to the family, painting me as unstable. The whispers at my welcome home party. "Alex is different now, broken." Heartbreak clawed at me, not just from him, but from the family who let it slide. Guilt gnawed too. Had I enabled this by staying silent? But doubt crept in. Was revenge worth it? Uncle Mike, the man who'd saved me, adored Jake. Shattering that illusion could destroy us all. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows over the lawn where kids chased fireflies, their laughter a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside me. I excused myself, slipping into the house for a breather. The cool AC hit like a slap, but it did nothing to quench the fire. In the bathroom mirror I saw a stranger, hollow eyes, jaw set like granite. "Planet," the voice whispered, the one honed in ops rooms. Subtle. Strategic. No explosions, just erosion. I'd start small. Drop hints about Jake's past indiscretions, the ones I'd uncovered during my intel days. The affair with his boss's wife. The embezzlement he'd covered up. But fear twisted my gut. What if it backfired? What if I became the villain? Back outside, the group had shifted to stories around the fire pit. Uncle Mike, his voice gravelly from years of command, regaled us with sanitized tales of his SEAL days. "It's not about the glory," he said, flames dancing in his steel-blue eyes. "It's about the team. Loyalty." Jake snorted, tossing another log on the fire. "Yeah, Dad, but not everyone's cut out for it." "Right, Alex." The jab landed, drawing uneasy laughs. My heart pounded, anger surging like a tide. I could feel the cold resolve hardening. Tonight, I'd plant the first seed. As the evening wore on, conversations fragmented. Aunt Karen pulled me aside, her brow furrowed. "You okay, hon?" "Jake's just Jake." Her concern felt genuine, but it only fueled my resentment. Why defend him? I nodded, words caught in my throat. Inside, fantasies swirled, exposing him publicly, watching his world crumble. But moral conflict raged. Revenge might taste sweet, but at what cost? My hands trembled as I gripped my soda, the fizz hissing like a fuse. Then came the pivot. Uncle Mike clapped me on the shoulder, his grip firm. "Alex, you ever talk about your time in call signs and all?" It was casual, but his eyes probed deeper, like he sensed the undercurrent. Jake overheard, smirking. "Oh, come on, Dad. Alex was probably paperboy or something." Laughter rippled again, but this time I met Jake's gaze, my voice steady. "Reaper." The word hung in the air, simple, unadorned. Jake rolled his eyes, but Uncle Mike froze, his face paling as recognition dawned. The fire pit crackled, embers popping like distant gunfire, but the Rayol explosion was in Uncle Mike's eyes, wide, then narrowing to slits as the weight of my call sign settled. "Reaper," he repeated, his voice a low rumble that cut through the chatter like a knife. The backyard fell silent, the humid night air thickening with suspense. Jake chuckled nervously, waving it off. "What, like the drone? Come on, Alex, that's lame." But Uncle Mike wasn't laughing. He leaned forward, muscles coiling under his faded navy tee, the man who'd survived hellholes I could only imagine. "Son," he said to Jake, his tone ice-cold, "apologize. Now." My heart slammed against my ribs, a mix of triumph and terror. This was it, the slow burn igniting. I'd never planned for this exact moment, but fate had handed me the match. In the SEAL community, call signs were legends whispered in barracks. Reaper wasn't just mine, it was infamous. During my tour, I'd led a go stop in the Afghan mountains, extracting a high-value target under Taliban noses. No shots fired, no traces left, just shadows reaping souls from the dark. Uncle Mike, retired but plugged in, must have heard the tales. The betrayal with Jake. This revelation would expose the chasm between us. Me, the silent warrior. Him, the fraud who'd stolen my path. Jake's face twisted in confusion, then defensiveness. "Dad, what the hell? It's just a joke." But Uncle Mike's gaze bored into him, unyielding. "You have no idea, do you? Reaper, that's the op that saved Echo Team in 18. The one they don't talk about." Whispers rippled through the family, eyes darting to me. My sister gasped, hand to mouth. Aunt Karen looked stricken. Inside I wrestled with guilt. This would hurt them all, but resentment won. Jake had mocked my sacrifices, belittled the nightmares that woke me screaming. Now the truth would strip him bare. Flashbacks assaulted me as the tension built. That night after the scholarship theft, I'd confronted Jake in our room. "You stole my future," I'd hissed. He'd shrugged. "Build a new one." I did, in blood and sand, while he lounged in luxury. Obsession had driven me through training, each push-up a vow. One day he'll pay. But doubt had always lingered. Was I obsessing over nothing? Now, with Uncle Mike's command hanging, fear spiked. What if Jake lashed out? What if this fractured the family irreparably? Uncle Mike stood, his 6-foot frame casting a shadow over Jake. "Apologize," he repeated, voice like thunder. The kids had scampered inside, sensing the storm. Jake's wife tugged his arm, murmuring, "Just say it." But Jake, ever stubborn, doubled down. "For what? Teasing my cousin. He's fine." Wrong move. Uncle Mike's face hardened, memories of his own betrayals, comrades lost to cowardice, flashing in his eyes. "You think this is teasing? Alex earned that coal sign in ways you'd never survive. And you stole from him." The words dropped like a grenade. How did he know? My pulse raced as Uncle Mike turned to me. "I pieced it together years ago. The scholarship essay, it had your voice, not his. I let it slide, thinking you'd handle it. But this, mocking a brother in arms." Jake blanched, realization dawning. "Dad, that was—" "Shut up," Uncle Mike snapped. The family gaped, the air electric with suppressed rage. I felt a cold resolve settle, but heartbreak too, for the boy Jake once was before jealousy corrupted him. Jake stammered, face reddening. "Alex, man, I didn't mean." But it was hollow, manipulation dripping from every syllable. Tension peaked as he stepped closer, fists balled. "You set this up, didn't you?" Whispering to Dad. Paranoia twisted his features, revealing the cracks in his facade. I shook my head, voice calm. "No need. Truth has a way of surfacing." Inside, fantasies of justice warred with moral conflict. Was this revenge or just deserts? The payoff came swift and shocking. Uncle Mike grabbed Jake's collar, pulling him close. "You're done here. Pack your things, you're cut off." Gasps echoed. Jake's eyes widened in horror. "Dad, no." But Uncle Mike released him, turning away. "Loyalty, son. You never learned it." Jake crumpled, sobbing excuses, but the damage was done. As he stormed off, his wife trailing, the family fragmented, some consoling, others stunned. In the quiet aftermath, Uncle Mike pulled me aside, his hand heavy on my shoulder. "I'm sorry, Reaper. For everything." Emotion choked me, relief, guilt, a hollow victory. The twist. Later that night, alone in my truck, I checked my phone. A text from an unknown number. "You think this ends it? Watch your back." Jake's hidden motive surfaced. He'd been embezzling from family funds, using my silence as cover. Revenge circled back, but now it was his turn to plot. The ember I'd ignited had become a wildfire, consuming us both. Heartbreak lingered, but so did resolve. I'd face whatever came, Reaper no more. Just a man scarred and steadfast.